The things I picked for you here are really specifically chosen to, again, it's not so much a copywriting seminar, but to help you with the work with the client to be effective, efficient, and impressive. So the first thing, so page 185, is in some sense redundant of everything we've been talking about, but so here's my point. If you insist on investing effort only in the message, you lose. So because you are writers and you at least entered the room thinking of yourself as copywriters, it is a good sign that some of you have started to, like, say consultant instead of copywriter. You will tend to focus on the copy. That's what you'll tend to focus on, is all the ways we might make this message better, right? Whereas you need to divide your focus and balance your focus over message, what media they're using, the markets they're going to, strategic issues, right? So when I described this morning, I'm opening my mail and I see this mail piece which I've seen before. It's already in a file from this big newsletter company with what is their control piece, okay? And as I said, I could beat the control literally. I don't drink anymore, but half bombed, I could beat this control at least 8 different ways. None of those ways have anything to do with the copy. I didn't even read the copy. I didn't even get that far, nor would I have to get that far. And chances are, by the way, the best part of what's there is the copy. It probably was done by a top copywriter. They probably paid a lot of money for it. My guess is they're paying a royalty or a per-use mailing fee for it. So the truth is, the copy's probably pretty damn good. But I didn't even read it because I don't have to, okay? I could beat the control by doing things to the envelope. I could beat the control by doing things to the lift note. And the big way I could beat the control is strategically segmenting lists it went to and customizing, if nothing else, the lift note to that list. So fundamentally, this is an investment pitch, right? This is a financial newsletter pitch, okay? And they are, first of all, they're mailing the usual suspects. So they're renting lists of financial newsletter subscribers and book buyers and stuff, okay? Now, what has never occurred to them, I assure you, even though they're a very smart company, is that financial newsletter subscribers is not actually a niche. It's a subculture, okay? It's an interest group, but it's not a niche. However, within it, there are niche biases, okay? So for example, I happen to know that if we took any financial newsletter subscriber list and we ran it against occupation lists, we would find a lot of doctors, we'd find a lot of dentists, we'd find a lot of lawyers, we'd find a lot of private pilots. There's about 7 groups that probably make up 60 to 70% of the total list. So the way you beat that control in your sleep is you bust out the dentists and you change the envelope and the lift note. Actually, the smart thing is change all the copy, but you change the envelope and the lift note to talk to dentists. And you need to talk about their angst about not being able to sell their practice for what they would need to sell their practice to retire, or having to finance it, about not having saved and invested enough and now trying to make up for lost time, and why this newsletter reveals secrets that'll help you do the investing in 3 years you should have done in 30, and you're on your feet all day, you're busy, you're inside people's mouths, you don't have a lot of time to deal with stock trading and commodity. It's a simple thing. So you need to talk to the dentist in dentalese about this product, and preferably find a testimonial from a dentist. Then you take all the MDs and you mail the thing to the MDs, and you talk MD language, and you find a testimonial from an MD, right? So I would mail 7 different versions of that package to 7 different segments of a list. I could also get them outside of the usual suspects, because you could make it work to the dental list regardless of whether they now subscribe to financial newsletters or not. So that's all strategy stuff, right? That's not copy stuff, a little copy stuff, but mostly it's strategic thinking stuff. And because everybody wants one thing to send to everybody, a one-size-fits-all thing, they never really get to thinking that way. So what you are always best served by bringing to the table is a new context, a new strategic context in which you deliver copy. So if all you focus on is the copy, so let's say I took that job as a beat the control, and I did none of anything I just talked about. Instead, I tried to beat the copy, and then they test it with the same list, the same everything, against this control. Frankly, the odds are I lose, right? For example, I don't know anybody that ever beat a Halbert control. I tried 5 times, I never beat a Halbert control. Now, I got 2 of mine he couldn't beat, because we both tried to beat each other's copy. Well, but I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna beat a Halbert control. So I just got a new client very recently. They were referred to me by Halbert, and they're using a tear sheet Halbert wrote. And what they want is a better tear sheet. I can't beat that tear sheet. I know damn well I can't beat his copy. It's impossible. There's no point in even trying. Now, I can't even tell you why, by the way, because you would look at it often and you would think, well, I can beat that. But there's something about what Halbert did. I don't know. It's the Michael Jordan intangible thing. You're not going to beat his copy. However, I can beat the results of the entire campaign, but I'm going to have to change the way we play the game. I can't just tackle the copy. Right? So you always have to come to this with more than message, because message alone rarely is the answer. So on page 186, I've given you my 12 boxes. Okay? We'll talk about each one in a little detail. Give you a few ideas for some of them about things to do. But so here's the 12 boxes. Right? I don't know if I can focus this any better. That's about as good as she's going to get, but you have it in front of you. So here's the boxes I try and gather information in when I am starting anew with client to do projects. So the first box is all about the who. Who's the customer? Who's the prospect? What do they know about who the customer is? What don't they know about who the customer is? So for example, almost nobody knows what I just described. It hasn't occurred to them, right? So they think that financial newsletter subscribers is a niche. It's not, it's a subculture. Just like Harley-Davidson motorcycle owners is not a niche, it's a subculture, right? So the real question is, who's in there? And is there any overwhelming number of one who versus another who's in there? Now that might be geographic, it might be occupational, it might be ethnic, it might be age, it might be guys with crew cuts, it might be, but somewhere in there's a who we should probably be talking to separately, differently, in order to get better results. So I want to find out as much as I can about what they know and identify in my mind what they don't know, what they're not telling me, which tells me they don't know, right, about their customer and their prospects. Then second, the emotional information. So this is a place of great leverage. So what I want to know here is why the who buys, right? And now they'll usually start by giving you features and benefits crap about why people buy, right? Well, they buy because we got the best doohickey, or we got the cheapest doohickey, or we got a doohickey that's made in America instead of being made in China, or because it slices, dices, and vacuums, or it, you know, for years, like Volvo thought people bought Volvos because of safety. They finally wised up and made a convertible. So I'll give you a great Miracle-Air example. So one of the things I determined in Miracle-Air, let me see if I can find my piece. So here's my, okay. So this is a piece, this is all about who and why they buy. This is a piece called Who Relies on a Miracle-Air. And then active seniors, people still working. Here's the big one. Seniors determined to remain independent. So, emotional information. Why did you buy hearing aids? If you can get them to enunciate it, here's a big reason why they buy hearing aids. Because they don't want to be stuck in a nursing home. Now, the way that engineers backwards is when seniors start to have real hearing problems, their adult children, their family around them, and their friends think that they are losing their mental capabilities because they respond improperly to conversations. They don't get what was said to them. So they begin to think these people are like one step away from dementia and Alzheimer's, when in reality, they just aren't hearing well, okay? So when the family begins to think they're losing it, what does the family start to do? Think about where they're going to stick mom and dad, right? Okay? And they don't want to be stuck there. So now, if you take that and you put it back together in the other order, the way you sell hearing aids to people is you scare them about being stuck in a nursing home. Okay? So that's the emotional, they don't buy it because they want it. You'll see these stupid hearing aid commercials where they're out walking in the woods and they can hear the birds now and they couldn't hear the birds before. What a crock of shit. I mean, you ain't gonna sell hearing aids that way. Yeah, somewhere there's somebody who wants to hear the birds, but please, you know, try separating them from $8,000 because they can't hear the birds sing in the backyard. I mean, get real, you know. But to keep from being stuck in a nursing home, now that's a motivation. Now you can't say it the way I just said it, so you got to dance around it, right? Seniors determined to remain independent. Why? Because many families start talking about the need to get dad or mom into an assisted living home environment when it seems dad or mom is slipping mentally, is having memory problems, is unable to follow and participate in conversations. And often these are actually just symptoms of hearing loss, easily improved by Miracle-Ear. Better hearing makes an individual seem sharper, gets you back in the game, fully participating in conversations. So there's another one. Okay, especially active and involved grandparents. So here's what happens. When they start having hearing problems and the relatives start thinking they're not with it, they don't want to trust them with the grandkids alone. So now they don't get to be with their grandkids alone. Well, they'll buy hearing aids to fix that problem because they want to be with their grandkids. So this is the emotional information. Why do these people buy? Okay. It's like we discovered selling a dental assistant school, $39,000 package to put the dentist in a second business, running a dental assistant school. Our primary buyer was 50 plus, right, getting close to retirement. He hadn't saved enough money for retirement. He was coming to grips with the fact he wasn't going to be able to sell his practice for what he wanted to sell it for cash. So that wasn't the answer. So how do I make up for lost time and get the money together to retire in the next 5 years that I should have been putting together over the last 30? Bingo, we got an answer to that. You do this second business, you make 100 grand a year from it, and you bank all the money. Not that they will, but that's neither here nor there. And at the end of 5 years, you've put 500,000 in the bank, plus it's earned interest along the way, so it's really 650. And then you could sell the dental assistant school for 200. Now you're at 850. You almost got $1 million you've made materialize from scratch if you invest, et cetera, et cetera. That's emotional information, okay? So I got to find the emotional information. Third, now I want the product stuff. And you got to let them give you the product stuff, by the way, even if you don't want it, because they'll be unhappy if they don't. So you got to get all the features and benefits and facts and statistics and how the thing is made, and the plastic comes from Germany instead. And every once in a while you find something in there you can use, right? But you know, it's not the big deal. Then 4, comparisons. So I want to know about competition, direct and indirect. So what's the difference? Well, direct competition is their competitor. So for Miracle Ear, it's Beltone, right? For Toyota, it's Honda, okay? I want to know about their direct competition, okay? And I want to know where the competition's better, where the competition's weaker, what the competition doesn't do that these guys do or should be doing or could be doing. You know, how do we, so that analysis leads to, like I just noticed, and it's very smart. You know the Giorgio or DiGiorgio frozen pizza product, you make it home? Well, what they very recently did, it's brilliant, so somebody ought to get a big prize. They've added breadsticks to the package. Why? Because Pizza Hut and Domino's big damn deal is pizza and breadsticks, which, by the way, you know, you're not getting enough dough with the pizza. You got to eat another pile of dough. And then for dessert, you have more breadsticks with cinnamon on them. Ah, yeah, great. Yeah. Yeah. And before long, they're going to be telling you it's a weight loss plan. So they've added breadsticks to every one of the frozen pizza boxes. Brilliant. They matched the competition. They took away one reason to call Domino's instead of using theirs. It's brilliant. Okay, so that's direct competition. The indirect competition issue is who else is taking money from these customers at the same time in the same amounts who might be in my way, right? So if we're selling a $70,000 cosmetic dental practice or cosmetic case, who's our indirect competition? Lexus, right? High-end luxury automobiles, the big expensive vacation, the cruise, right? That's our indirect competition. They're going to that same customer at the same time, trying to take the same amount of money. Can't ignore them. We're going to talk about them. Number 5 are my offer elements. So now I start to look for what the core proposition is or is going to be, starting with what's their offer now. So if we're talking about new customer acquisition, how are they bringing them in? What does that offer look like? Okay, what's the product? What's the premium? What's all the elements of this offer? And of course, usually the offer sucks, which is really good news for us because offers are fixable and relatively formulaic. But most people's offers suck. Many businesses don't even have an offer at all. Right? It's come on in. Right? So these guys, very typical. Their offer was what? Free exam. That's what everybody's doing. Free exam. Every dentist, every chiro, everybody, free exam. That's the whole offer. Call up, make an appointment, come in, and get your ears checked. Right? Get your back checked, get your teeth checked, get your eyes checked. Well, could we be any more boring? It's got one element of an offer. There's like 20 elements you can put in an offer, right? They got one, okay? They don't have a guarantee. If this isn't the best exam, most complete, most thorough exam you've ever had, we'll give you $50 for your trouble. They don't have that. All right, we stick that in there, right? They don't have the 8 things you're going to find out from your exam, so they don't even have benefits from the offer. They don't have any bonuses, right? So I got bonuses. I got free gifts. So your offer is, okay, so free, the most thorough and complete hearing test you'll ever have in your life, or we give you money. And then I got gifts. Gifts. Gift with appointment. Revolutionary idea. Nobody's ever thought of it before. Okay? So I got relevant gifts and irrelevant gifts. There's 2 kinds of bonuses, right? So for relevant, I got 5 fascinating special reports on health. Memory loss. What have I got? All old people stuff, because these are also real arthritis and joint pain relief without drugs. Get a good night's sleep again every night. Stay healthy even without flu shots. Foods that can save your life. How to live 42% longer and still eat breads, cheese, and rich desserts. And fountain of youth secrets. How to feel like you're 30 again. 37 home remedies drug companies and doctors hope you never discover. 9 Hollywood stars secrets for looking 10 to 20 years younger without cosmetic surgery, Botox, or expensive spa treatments. So I got health reports, right? Which of course I had to write for the damn client because they're incapable of writing the health reports. Hey, more work for me. And then I got the irrelevant gifts, the stuff they'll really want, right? So they got a giant magnifying glass, because if they're deaf, they're blind. You laugh, right? I mean, I got a free grab bag DVD of classic TV shows or old movies. So they get to pick a DVD of old westerns or old mysteries or whatever. And I got free, fun for you and your whole family, which is really about their grandkids, a TV trivia book. So they can play TV trivia games, which I had to write, because of course, you know, which, boy, that was back-breaking work. I drove down to Barnes & Noble, and I bought me 2 TV trivia books, and I came home and I wrote a TV trivia book. It's tough, heavy lifting. God forbid they should have anybody in their 520 employees running around in their little corporate beehive who could manage to do that task. So I got gifts, right? So I mean, I'm building an offer. So you want to look at what their offer is now, what offer have you used in the past, because sometimes they got one that worked before that they don't do anymore. Why don't we do that anymore? I don't know. I don't know why we stopped. Oh, okay. So and what could the offer elements be, right? What do they got that they might be able to use? Because a lot of times they got stuff laying around that could be premiums or could be added to the offer or could help you change the offer. So I'm looking at the offer. 6, I want to look at price. What is it? How do they present it now? Where's the flexibility? Do they have a deluxe? Should there be an AB offer instead of a single offer? Can I create a higher price doohickey? Can I do payments? Can I get them to do terms? Can I get them to do? So again, I'll use these guys in as example. So these guys, they got credit available for the buyer. 50% of the stores are in Sears stores. So you can use your Sears credit card in any of them. And of course they got Visa, MasterCard and all that stuff, right? But they're not talking about it as part of the price. Well, you're selling an $8,000 unit to a 65-year-old person. I got news for you. You probably ought to talk about payments. Okay? So we got payments. How to conveniently pay for your Miracle Ear. As little as $55 a month. That's all it takes to enjoy better hearing with Miracle Ear, right? And it also talks about insurance reimbursements and AARP discounts and military discounts and all that stuff, all in the same place. That's all how you present price. The $55 a month is the minimum payment on a MasterCard or a Visa if you stick the price of the Miracle Ear on that card, okay? So now I got financing, okay? So I want to look at price. I want to now look at how they're justifying price. What's their rationale for why this is a good deal? What's their rationale for why this is free? How are they using that? How are they not using that? How am I going to justify price? Where's the information there? 8, urgency. What are they doing about urgency? Do they have deadlines? Do they run out of stuff? Is there only a certain amount of this stuff made? Is it seasonal? Is it, does it only come around once a year? If you follow Red Cooper, who's a great direct marketer, the company's a great direct marketer of fruit. If you don't, you should Google them and you should get their stuff. So they're great direct marketers, mail order companies, sell fruit. Okay? And what they do is roll out a different fruit every so often that's only going to be available this season. So you got to pre-order right now your raspberries, and then you get them like a month from now. But if you don't pre-order them now, you can't get them, right? And then they'll be on to something else, melon, and then they'll be on to oranges, and then they'll be on. So urgency, what are they doing? What are the reasons people don't buy or don't respond to their thing? I need to know why they don't, right? So what happens? So like in their case, for example, I got to get some sales reps. I got to talk to some sales reps who actually close the sale. Why don't they buy? I got to go talk to some customers who didn't buy. Why didn't they buy? I got to listen to some sales presentations and actually hear the truth of why they aren't buying. I got to get research from the industry about why they don't buy. I got to know the reasons they don't buy. Why do I have to know the reasons they don't buy? Because we're going to write copy that makes those reasons go away, right? 10, social peer customer proof. Okay? What do they got? Hopefully they got some. If they don't, they probably got it. They just haven't gathered it up. Okay? Which, by the way, is a whole project for fee of tracking down the testimonials, organizing the testimonials, writing the copy for the testimonial contest, doing the interviews of the testimonials. That's a whole big deal if you want it to be for many clients. There are people, by the way, freelancers, who that's their whole business. I know at least 2 in the Glazer Kennedy world who their whole business is testimonial projects. That's all they do. They go find them, they gather them up, they interview them, they get the releases signed, they videotape them, they audio tape them, they organize them, and here's your testimonials finally, you nitwit. So we need, is there social proof? Is there peer proof? Is there expert proof? What are we going to do for proof? Guarantees and warranties. What do their guarantees and warranties look like now? If they look at you and say, in our business, we can't guarantee anything because it's illegal, because the customers will rip us off, because now you got to fix that, because you certainly don't want to be writing copy without guarantees. Okay? So now we got to find something we can guarantee. Okay? So Domino's couldn't guarantee the pizza because the pizza sucked, right? But they could guarantee delivery. So you got to guarantee what you can. Well, you couldn't guarantee that pizza. Good Lord. I mean, so they didn't. The original USP never even said good pizza. It just said fresh, hot, fast. Okay? So they guaranteed that they were going to get it there. They didn't guarantee it was any good. So we can guarantee the time they sit in the waiting room if we can't guarantee the treatment. But we want to be able to guarantee warranty something. And what other kinds of reassurance are there to make the buyer feel good about this? What do they use now? What aren't they using? So I fill my 12 boxes, right? I'll tell you 15 good beat the control tactics that revolve around these boxes. So number 1, I've taken you to a number of times, so I won't keep belaboring the point, is change the who. So slice and dice their market, slice and dice their customers, match dentist testimonial to dentist, hardware store owner testimonial to hardware store owner, fireman testimonial to fireman. Slice and dice the market, change the who that the thing is aimed at. That's a great beat the control tactic, and of course it fits box number 1. Number 2, in emotional information, find out what their enemy is, the customer, the buyer, the thing or person they hate the most, or the thing or person they fear the most, and position your client. At weakest has solution to it, at best has crusading missionary against it. Right? I had an ad, my original opportunity ad for Jeff Paul, so it was how to make $4,000 a day sitting at home in your kitchen in your underwear was the headline. We added so this ad sells a money-making opportunity, right? Sells a book, actually, which then sells a money-making opportunity. Mostly running initially where you would usually run it. Opportunity, Entrepreneur, all the opportunity magazines. Then we gradually tested and tested and tested and tested. And one of the places we found it worked real well was all the conservative political magazines. American Spectator, Newsmax wasn't around then, but National Review, American Standard, there's a tabloid one, the name escapes me, but they're a bunch of conspiracy theorists and the right to their political right of Attila the Hun. Like, you know that guy that ran out on the field and got tasered a few days ago? See, this bunch would favor the death penalty. I happen to agree with them, by the way, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, I think we need express lane for a lot of people, but I'm a big thin to herd guy anyway. I mean, I'm like a big fan of Darwin. So we added a box at the end of this ad so this is when Clinton was in office, when Bill was in office. So we added a box at the end of the ad all about how Hillary and her healthcare scheme is going to come take all your money. And you better make a shitload of money before she gets there, because you're going to need a lot of it just to do well, and that's why you should buy this thing. Okay? So guess what? Response to the ad up 20% in the conservative places, 10% everywhere else but Mother Earth News. It didn't get us a bump in Mother Earth News. Surprisingly, it didn't hurt us in Mother Earth News, but it didn't get us a bump. Okay? Now, it has nothing whatsoever to do with the product, the pitch. I just made it have something to do so I could stick Hillary in there and rail against Hillary for 3 paragraphs. Because it turns out I was right. The buyers of money-making opportunities from these places are predominantly conservatives, and they hated the Clintons. So I want to be against what they're against, right? Offer elements. Box number 5. Change the decision from a yes-no decision to 2 or 3 choices. Okay? So you might do that with AB or ABC offer. You might do it with the bonuses. Pick any 3 of these 5. Pick any 5 of these 7. Pick which one of these things you want. A duffel bag or a hat. Okay? By the way, you bring that all the way down to the smallest business. So the first thing I did in chiropractic, I did 2 things in chiropractic. The first 2 things I did other than direct mail is I taught the chiropractors, because they're all so bad at asking for referrals, I taught the chiropractors to put a big sign up at every treatment room, okay, asking for referrals, and stick on the wall a choice of 5 gifts when you refer a patient. So you put Velcro on the back of them. It's really ugly, which is why they don't like to do it. And there's relevant gifts and irrelevant gifts. So up on the wall goes a neck pillow, some kind of back doohickey, movie tickets, pizza coupons, 5 gifts. You choose any one when you refer a patient, right? Brings the referral rate way up. Right? Their peers hate it, it's ugly, and the staff doesn't like it, but it works because we've now introduced choices and we've got them picking out which thing they want, and they're focused on that rather than focused on anything else. Also in box 5, offer elements, the irrelevant gift. So never lose sight of the fact that more often than not, the irrelevant gift works better than the relevant gift. Now, I played it both ways with Miracle-Ear, and I often will. But the all-time control of this, there's 2 great controls that demonstrate it. So there's the ad age control. How many of you are unfamiliar with the Advertising Age magazine control? Unfamiliar, you don't know it. Okay. You'll find it in Hodgson's greatest direct mail letters or greatest sales letters of all time. It's published by Dartnell. You can get it at Amazon. So the ad age control they keep trying to beat, that they can't beat, and that even people who don't want the damn magazine subscribe because they want the cup, okay, which has the front page of Ad Age on it, and it's customized to you. So the headline says, Dan Kennedy wins Advertising Age Genius Award of the Year, right? That's the bonus when you subscribe to Ad Age. And people buy it to get the cup. When I did the Entrepreneur Be Your Own Boss show, we kept tinkering. It took us 22 times to make the thing even break even. But I got a bump when I added a cup that says, I'm my own boss. And it has the entrepreneur logo on it. I got a bump, okay? Completely irrelevant bonus. There's no value, there's no use to it. It's not practically related. Omaha Steaks, their #1 gift with order continues to be a big calculator. Doesn't have a damn thing to do with steaks. They don't even tie it with copy that you're going to use this calculator to figure out how much you save by eating steakhouse quality steaks at home instead of going to Morton's. They don't even do that. It's just a buck slip in there that says when you order, you get this big calculator. Works. I don't know why. Calculator is one of the most popular premiums ever. #5, still offer elements, switch from gift with purchase to choice of gifts. Reversal. Sometimes you'll see, it's typical in the newsletter business, a lot of information product businesses, there's like tons of premiums. So when you buy the course or you sign up for the seminar, you get all these videos, you get all these reports, you get the cassettes, CDs of last year's seminar. I mean, you get a ton of shit, right? So sometimes you can just flip the offer and make all the bonuses the thing they're buying and give them the product now as the bonus. You just turn around. Right? I did it for Travis McPhee and Woody Oaks years ago with their dental thing. I just took all their bonuses and made it the system, and I made the system the gift. And now we could run both front ends through the list and got the same response each time. Presentation of price, box #6, single to multi-pay, emphasis on payments instead of price, and sometimes you can actually improve their profit there. Right? I told you in an infomercial, I went to 2 payments of the same amount that was the 1 payment, and it actually boosted a response, but I doubled the price. Box 6, also presentation of price, engineer a big price drop, so you build up the value somehow really, 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 really big with apples to oranges comparisons. They don't have to make any sense. There's a great, it might be in that same book. I have it in my swipe file. For a number of years, there was a real successful company called Cheese Lovers Club of America. It was a continuity club, right? And their acquisition pitch, I kept it in my swipe file because it was so ludicrous. Okay? So you get 3 different kinds of cheeses every month from different countries all around the world, right? That's the pitch. So their value build was what it would cost you to fly to all these countries. So they had a list of here's the airfare to go here, and the airfare to go here, and the airfare to go here, and it totals up to, you know, $820,000 to fly to all these countries to taste this cheese, but it's only $39.95 a month. I mean, it's like nothing, right? Well, I mean, it's just ludicrous, right? I mean, could you be any sillier, you know? I mean, but it was their control for like 5 years. I assume they split tested against it. Smart people were running that company, and so that's the deal. So don't worry about rational thought here. Okay? Just let greed take over. Build some gigantic value build that you can discount from with this huge price drop. Okay? You usually won't find the client doing that on their own. Urgency. You'll see a TV commercial running right now for some kind of malarkey, a collector coin. You've seen it, right? Because you're in the, is it yours? Okay. You know, and their big deal is a limit of 5 coins per house, which I'm going to bet if you call in and really want 10, you can probably get 10, but 5 coins per household, which I assume they've calculated based on the fact that nobody buys more than 5, right? I mean, but the very fact that you can only get 5 makes you want it more than if there was no limit on it, right? A lot of people don't understand that about everything, by the way, right? So like information marketers will give away like unlimited phone support, or unlimited critiques, or anything you give away unlimited, you just shot yourself in the foot because it has no value. Okay? No, so, but a critique coupon that allows you 1 critique, which has $200 in value, that means more than unlimited critiques for the whole year, because the person doesn't value that. Okay? A 20-minute phone call is better than unlimited phone call, right? Because of value. But anyway, so urgency, they're doing it with, we're going to run out of these things. In fact, we're going to run out of them so fast, we won't let anybody buy more than 5 in order to be fair to everybody who wants them, yada, yada. Also, box 8, urgency, of course, tie your discounts and your bonuses to specific deadlines. You know that. You know to do that. But what a lot of you probably haven't done then is to run the countdown sequence against the deadline. So by email or fax, we'll often run it every day with 9 days left, 8 days left, 7 days left, 72 hours left, 48 hours left, 24 hours left, 12 hours left. Oh, you missed it. It ended at midnight, but you got 4 more hours and then it's gone forever. So it sets up a way to run a countdown sequence against it. Hardly anybody's doing that kind of follow-up, by the way. So as long as they got email addresses or fax numbers, preferably both, of the prospects that they sent the original pitch to, you can do it. They don't know to do it. So it's something you can bring to the table that they don't know to do. And it will almost always produce something. So as long as you're doing it cheap, it'll almost always produce something. Urgency, really control the response. Again, you'll see people in her business, in the coin business. You'll see it with all kinds of collectibles usually, where you'll see the ad in USA Today, for example, where people in this part of the country have to call in between this time and this time, and if you're in this part of the country, you have to call in between this time and this time. I've done it with seminar registrations by alphabet. So if your last name is between A and M, these are the hours you can call in to register. N to Q, these are the hours you can call in to register. There's no reason for it. You don't even need to give a reason for it, but it does tend to boost response. So those are my 15 best beat the controls that fit those boxes. Oh, I got more, wait a minute. There's 4 more I didn't give you. So in box number 9, right? The reasons not to respond. Be very, very specific about these reasons. So again, when you interview most clients, they'll give you the general reasons, right? Well, they don't buy because of price. But really, what does that mean, right? Do they not buy because they can't afford the price? Do they not buy because they have a visceral reaction that the price is too much, thus they haven't been convinced of the value? Do they not buy at that price because they're not accustomed to buying in that category at that price, and so they have no frame of reference for it? What does that mean, right? And so you want to be very, very specific when you answer those reasons. Social proof. Flesh out the testimonials. So what do I mean by that? So if you get a client who has testimonials, they will tend, at best, to have name, city and state. In B2B, they'll have their occupation or their company name, maybe. In consumer, they might have age, but they're not going to have much more information. But really, if people are being persuaded by a testimonial, they want to know as much about that person as they can. Usually pictures are helpful because that makes the person real, but details are helpful too. So I'll give you 2 examples. So in Miracle Air, again, I'm selling to old people, to senior citizens. So age matters to them, and what they do for a living or did do for a living matters. And there are certain occupations that are going to be more persuasive to a senior citizen than other occupations. So think about that for a second. What occupations do you think are particularly persuasive to 65, 70, 75-year-old people that would not necessarily be that persuasive to younger people? Nurses. She's right about that, by the way. Nurses are much better than doctors. What else? AARP, that's okay. Not an occupation, though. Military. Maybe. Maybe teacher, home care, clergy. Bingo, number one on the list, okay? 80% either go to church or watch a televangelist every Sunday, okay? They're churchgoers. They still think the pastor, et cetera. So my first testimonial in my booklet, the headline is, Minister Calls His Miracle Ear a Blessing. And I got me Reverend Charles Hutchison, the pastor in Green Valley, Arizona, who almost had to give up being a pastor because he couldn't hear, and we have saved him with the miracle of miracle ear. Then I have a CPA, right, professionals. Then I got, let's see what else I got here. I got an 80-year-old, okay? So she's back in church thanks to her miracle ear. So everybody's got a different story. I got a 56-year-old long-haul truck driver who still wants to work. I've got a retired Chrysler Corporation person. So I didn't just say retired. I'm specific, right? They're retired from Chrysler, right? Well, there's a lot of people retired from Chrysler. And then there's a lot of retired auto workers. So the person says, oh, Chrysler, well, that makes this real. I got a 53-year-old powerhouse operator at Allegheny Ludlam plant in Breckenridge, Pennsylvania. I got me another minister. I got me a retired secretary, a retired school teacher. I got the church pianist. See, I'm very big on church here. I got the church pianist, and I got a school teacher. Okay? And I got their ages, and I got where they live. And then their stories are very specific. So here in this book, the goat testicle guy, okay, I got the requisite testimonials, right, from people endorsing the book, okay? But you may not know who these people are who are endorsing the book. So for the testimonial to mean anything, I got to make them mean something, right? Hardly anybody does it, by the way. So here's a testimonial from Dr. Chris Tomczak, who is the CEO of HealthSource Chiropractic, the world's largest franchise organization in the chiropractic profession. HealthSource has been recognized by Entrepreneur Magazine as the leading franchise organization in health services category for 2 consecutive years. And here's his website. I got the same kind of little bio about everybody that's got a testimonial in here. Now there's 2 reasons for that, by the way, in this instance. One is because I want to make the testimonial, the person giving the testimonial, meaningful and important and credible and significant. 2, I'm happy to give them a little promotion, and a little promotion on their website, because I'm going to lean on them hard to promote the book. So I've just obligated the living bejesus out of them by what I did there, and it's no harm, no foul. Use of social proof. We're still in box number 10. There's all different ways to use them, right? Lead generation, acquisition, refund control. If you got a client that has refunds. Right? So like one of the things I said to Bill Phillips at EAS, which he immediately ran out of the room to do. So they literally had a room, because they ran that contest all the time. So they got a room of testimonials. I mean, you couldn't run out of testimonials. And before and after pictures, right? So they got pictures, because everybody had to send them in to be in the contest. They got pictures and testimonials. I mean, a room of them. So he's using them everywhere. I mean, the outside of the envelope, inside in the mail piece, got audio, got video, got everything. So the main product that's shipped, big box of pills, right? Vitamins and potions and powders and shit, right? I said, where's the testimonials on the box? Where's the before and afters on the box? Right? Huh? I said, well, anybody return this stuff for a refund? Yeah? Well, the inside box lid's empty. There's nothing on it. I hate white space. I just hate it with a passion. It's a copywriter in me, right? White space, well, let's put something there, you know? Paper's expensive, ink's cheap. That's my motto. Right? So let's put them on the box. Absolutely. Now they're on the box, right? So every place you can use them. Generally speaking, if you've got a client that's got them, he's not using them, every place they can be used. Order form. Sometimes you can get a bump by adding them to the order form, especially if the back of the order form is blank. Paper's expensive, ink's cheap. Box number 11, guarantees. So a couple things you can do with guarantees if they're not already being done. One is you can make them personal rather than corporate institutional. In the first Victoria Principal skincare show, we changed the guarantee from being voice-overed by the voice doing the commercial, and you get this, and you get this, and you get this, and you join the club, and you pay for the rest of your life, that commercial. So we took his voiceover out and went back to Vic. The Victoria Principal steps forward and delivers the guarantee. First person voiced has hers, bump. All right? So you can make it personal. The president of the company, the president's wife, the president's dog, the president's kids. You can make it personal. You can also make it sound more interesting. So a lot of guarantees are dull and boring, right? So the best example of that ever was Halbert's for Nancy Kwan Pearl Cream. And that guarantee is, if your friends don't actually accuse you of having had a facelift, return the empty jar within 90 days and get a full refund. Now all that is a satisfaction guarantee. That's all it is. If you don't like it, send it back in 90 days and we'll give you your money back. But it's a lot more interesting when if your friends don't actually accuse you of having had a facelift, return it. It won't increase the refunds, by the way. So you can make it sound more interesting. And then kind of special, you can add a lumpy, entertaining, or obligating object, right? You can junk it up. I told you about this photo earlier today. I had it here to show you for a different reason, but since I mentioned it. So, back to our offer box. Let's assume we build a great offer and we managed to get something free in it. Here's one more trick for you, beat the control trick. A lot of people have their offers buried. Even when it's a free offer, they got it buried. It's 5 paragraphs deep, it's 8 paragraphs deep, it's on the second page, it's hidden. Well, if you got a great offer, lead with the great offer. So this big bump, first bump we got here was the picture. Then we got another big bump by moving the offer to the outside of the envelope. So here's the ultimate winner. Well, this, yeah, you can kind of see it. So the picture down here is of old Chauncey tearing his tick-infested, lice-infested hair, okay, with "Have I Finally Lost My Mind?" Then the whole offer's here. Free, 10 audio tapes, 4 special reports, telephone consulting and coaching, 2 priority ad critiques, 1 book, 2 videos, and a veritable truckload of tax business building information and assistance, all free. And all you have to do to get all of it is to say maybe. So it's an opt-in with a buyout, with a bunch back out. And then the copy doodle thing, only the next 50 tax business owners will benefit. So you move it all the way to the front. Page 189. How do you find breakthrough ideas? Mostly, here's where to go look. Number 1, look for the story. Most clients aren't very good at using their stories. Their personal story, their grandma's story, the why they got in the business story, the human interest angle of their business. So I'm working with this skincare client who came to me from Halbert, from Beyond, and I'm in the consulting day making them tell me their story, right? And so the kids have the company now. So the daughter is telling me the story of why they got in the skincare business and then how they developed the products, and that their grandma, who is still alive, like 80-something, is the product tester. And so they send her all the stuff and grandma tries it and she either approves it or doesn't approve it based on how it works on her wrinkled old face. And so, and there's a big personal story then about the relationship with grandma and great-grandma. And great-grandma used to be some kind of pharmacist person who made potions and stuff. I mean, I got it all written down. And so this thing is really sort of a tribute to grandma. Are they using this anywhere? Nah. No. They don't even want to use it, to tell you the truth, so I'm having to force it, but they're not using it at all. Right? It's gold. I mean, I want grandma with little vials of glop. I want the picture of the great-grandma in the sepia-toned old photograph. And if we don't have one, any grandma in a sepia-toned photograph will do, you know. I mean, so you're looking for a way to emotionally connect with the customer and make it personal for the seller. So the dermatologists who are attached to the Proactiv product at Guthy-Renker, one of the two dermatologists had pretty serious acne all through her teen years and almost didn't go to her prom. I want you to go try and find that anywhere in Proactiv copy. You won't. You will now. I go, huh? Now, if I didn't sit there and say, tell me about the dermatologist. And of course, the first thing they tell me is all the academic crap. Well, one of them's from Stanford and one of them's from here. Yeah. I said, okay, great. Now tell me about the dermatologist. Well, what do you mean? Well, I don't know. Has one of them got a stump leg? I mean, is one of them saving orphans? Do they go to Botswana once a year and cure acne on poor people in tents? I mean, there's something about the dermatologist that's got to be interesting. Some personal something. So one of them pipes up with this story that the derm told him at some point in time about almost not going to her prom. Well, there's your ad, right? I mean, I don't want to write it here in front of you, but you know, there's an ad, right? Quotes, I almost skipped my high school prom because of my acne. Now I've invented the solution. I mean, there's your ad, right? I want a picture of a weeping girl with her prom dress heaped over in the corner of the chair. You know, I mean, there's my ad. Okay? No, nobody's using it. So look for the story. Okay? Next, look for the customer bias. We've talked about that. That's box number 1, the who. And what you're looking for are two primary things. Who can be eliminated? Who are they wasting time mailing to, talking to? So up until very recently, Nutrisystems kind of finally conquered it. Nobody was ever able to sell weight loss to men. Okay? They ain't gonna buy it for a variety of reasons, notably including that men only look at themselves in the mirror from here up. Women look at their whole body. Guys don't do that. Okay? Well, they don't. In case you gals didn't know it, guys don't do it. They only look from here up. Okay? So you're not going to sell diet stuff to men. It never happened. But every company insisted. 3 women testimonials, 1 male testimonial. 3 women befores and afters, 1 male befores and afters. So I always argued, why do we have them in there at all? Why are we wasting our space talking to them and having to neuter our copy a little bit? Why does our copy say men and women? Why? They don't buy anything. Why aren't we just talking to women? Well, we ought to be sensitive to diversity. I'm going, no. Okay? There's a company, this client of mine 5 years ago, massive amount of direct mail. Doesn't matter what they sell. Okay? They had, at the time that I started working with them, they already had 800,000 customers, so they had a lot of data. You know how many Hispanics they had in their 800,000 customers? Zip, nada, not one. Not even one by accident bumbled into the 800,000. Hispanic was not go buy from them. Guess what was in every one of their printed pieces? Pictures of Hispanics. I'm going, are you people insane? Well, we got one of everything. You know, I said, well, you're missing an Indian with a feather in his hat. Why don't we put him in there too? You know, what are we trying to do here? Win the diversity award from somebody, or are we trying to sell shit? What are we doing? Get them out of there, okay? So you want to look at who you can eliminate, especially either from message, so you can sharpen the message, because the message is forced to be too broad because you won't eliminate anybody. So who can you take out so you can write the copy sharper, and if they're doing direct mail, you can change the economics by cutting whole segments out of the list. So, seminar company drives everybody to previews in the professions. Guess what I can tell you? You might want to file this for your coaching people. Okay, here's what I can tell you. 90% of your attendance will come from the suburban ring around the city and beyond, not from the city you're doing the seminar in. So if you're going to go do the seminar in Atlanta, don't mail Atlanta. You're peeing away your money. Mail all the suburbs around Atlanta. And mail about 150 miles out around those suburbs, but don't bother mailing Atlanta. Now that data was readily available in the client's business, and they're still mailing everybody in the city. Going to Atlanta, we got to mail Atlanta. Why? Nobody comes from Atlanta. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So either we got to fix the copy and say something different to the ones who are in Atlanta than the ones who are showing up, or we got to drop them out altogether. And you're looking for a bias where you can extract the segment of the list and customize the message to it. So one more example of that. I'm doing copy for, I'm going to run about 5 minutes over, but we're going to let you run five minutes over too. So I'm doing copy for a company that sells essentially a franchise, a business opportunity to be in the asset protection business. They're generating all their leads at the time from ads in USA Today, Forbes, Investors Business Daily, and Entrepreneur. So they generate leads, they send them a shock and awe package, they get them on the phone, guy closes them. $9,000 sale. That's the business. I say, box number one, who's the customer? You get all the dumb answers, right? Well, it's somebody that wants to be in business for themselves. It's somebody that wants to be in a white-collar business, not a blue-collar business. It's somebody that's got $9 grand. It's somebody that reads Entrepreneur Magazine for us. Great, right? Who's the customer? What do you mean? Well, are they men? Are they women? Are they old? Are they young? Are they salespeople? Are they engineers? Are they midgets? Who the hell are they? You got a lot of customers. They all came to training. You even saw them. Who are they? Well, we've never really. Well, let's go look, shall we? All right. So I told you where they're advertising. 23% of the buyers are CPAs and accountants. I said, do you think you might want to advertise in CPA monthly and accountant monthly and mail to the accountants and tweak this whole package to talk to accountants? 23% of your customers by accident are accountants and CPAs. I wonder what might happen if we tried to do it on purpose. I never thought of that. All right. So you're looking for who you can extract and create a separate campaign for, and you're looking for who can be eliminated. You're looking for the sweet spot. Timing matters a lot. All right. So cosmetic dentistry, I told you it's 6 months after the divorce and she got the house. That's the deal. Okay? That's who we want. All right. In the newsletter business, everybody knows about the secret of expires. Who doesn't know the secret of expires? Okay? The expires can be worth more than the hotline. Okay? Because just because they've given up on guru number one doesn't mean they've given up on the idea. They've just given up on guru number one. they're actually ready for guru number 2. So the recent expire can sometimes be better than the recent subscriber. Now, everybody charges a premium for the hotline names. They don't charge a premium for the expires, and in many cases, they'll sell you the expires cheaper than they'll sell you their current subscribers. All right? So that's timing, right? And look for the product's USP. Well, I mean, you know, you all know to do that, and you all know to create a unique selling proposition. Again, everything has things that are weaknesses, and everything has strengths that can be expanded on and elaborated. So again, my Domino's example, there was no unique selling proposition possible for the product. Not only was it ordinary, it was awful, right? So the original USP was fresh, hot pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed. Fresh, hot, 30 minutes or less. No mention of good, no mention of mama's recipe from the old country, no mention of real cheese, because it wasn't, no mention of real sausage, because it wasn't, no real anything, okay? Fresh, hot, 30 minutes or less. So there's a USP somewhere in everything, but it may not necessarily be available in the product or the service that they now sell the way they sell it. It may have to be something else that you figure out and invent. By the way, a little Domino's secret Tom Monahan told me in an interview. A lot of people don't realize. The USP was not only built because of the flaws of the product, but because of the particular locations of the first few Domino's, which were all adjacent to college campuses. So you got dorm buildings full of people smoking funny stuff who then need vast quantities of carbohydrates in a hurry. They don't care about what they taste like, they just need them, and they are incapable of going anywhere to get them on their own. Right? So the USP is matched to the market, my triangle, 2 sides of the triangle. Last, if necessary, cheat. So if you can't find a breakthrough idea anyplace else, cheat. Okay? So one cheat is get them a celebrity. You will almost always get some kind of bump by sticking a celebrity, even an irrelevant celebrity. So years ago, Alan Sean Feinstein, some of you may remember Alan, used to run opportunity ads, the mystery kind, where he's not going to tell you how you're going to make all the money, but it's the super XYZ formula and you're going to get the booklet. And so Alan ran copy-intensive opportunity ads in all the opportunity magazines for years. Okay? So Alan, at some fundraising deal, met Robert Vaughn from The Man from U.N.C.L.E. So he pays Robert Vaughn, I forget, some Mickey Mouse amount of money, just to stick his picture in the ad with a quote underneath that says, it didn't even endorse Alan or the product or something, it said something like, you know, America is the greatest land of opportunity in the world, Robert Vaughn. All right? Has nothing to do with anything. Didn't even attempt to make it have anything to do with anything, and didn't ask him to endorse the product, the company, or the person, therefore you don't have to pay the guy as much, because he's not endorsing anything, right? 20 to 30% bump in all the ads. I mean, you can almost always get a bump if you get them a celebrity, right? It's relatively easy to do, by the way. If you want, we can talk about it in Q&A, otherwise I don't want to bore you. If they don't have any money for a celebrity, they won't go get a celebrity, manufacture a celebrity, okay? So they probably got a customer somewhere, if they will dig for it, who's a rodeo rider or a skateboard star or whose sister is a celebrity. We used, in 2 different campaigns years ago, we used Jackie Stallone. Why do we use Jackie? Because we weren't going to pay for Sly. But I got a picture of Mom with Sly Stallone to use. I give Jackie 5 G's. Sly would have cost me $1 million. I got him for 5 G's too. Why did I use Christy Frank from The Apprentice? Because I got Trump. That's why. No disrespect to Christy, she knows it. I could care less about having Christy. After the first year was gone, who the hell knows who Christy is, right? But I get Trump. And I even got a picture, Christy and Trump. And I get to say, from the Apprentice, Donald Trump's apprentice. And I get a quote from her that says, even Donald Trump could learn a thing or two from Dan's books. Christy Frank from The Apprentice. I got Christy Frank in 2 Point Invisible. I got Donald Trump could learn a few things in 48 Point Gothic, right? Good until you get to Cease. So, and in his case, you don't. So you can buy one cheap, you can make one, you can manufacture one, you can find one in the customer base. Contests, great gimmick. EAS, we borrowed it from my information marketer clients. Everybody competes to be the best of the customers. They win a car. Gimmicks like the photo, the doohickey, the lumpy mail, the weird delivery in a bottle, scotch tape to a basketball, in a big box. It disappeared from up here, but you know their little trash can? You guys have all seen these mailings done with these little trash cans. And you don't have to use the aluminum ones, they have plastic ones, which are less expensive and they're in bright colors. So years ago, he still does it. I got this high-end financial advisor. He wants 5 meetings a month in Chicago. And the client's got to be the CEO of a company in a certain industry of a certain size that's a family business, legacy issues, real detailed. So we have a pretty small prospect pool. So in his case, we have the sales letter for the appointment delivered in a trash can, but in a full-size trash can. Full size. You buy it over Home Depot, big trash can, delivered by a messenger guy in a big messenger outfit with a badge and a gun, who comes in with the trash can, says, I got to deliver this to so-and-so. Secretary, of course, says he's not here or whatever. He says, okay, I got to leave it for so-and-so, and it can't go anywhere, so I'm going to handcuff it right here to the thing, and I'm going to give you the key, and you have to sign, and there's this real official-looking form she has to sign for it, and the guy's out the door, and the thing is left in this big giant trash can in the guy's office, right? Same basic pitch as the little trash can. I've delivered this because a lot of people would throw out my mail if I didn't, and in case you do want to throw it out, here's a trash can to throw it out in. The best thing about this is, what exactly do you throw a trash can out in? Well, you can't put it in a wastebasket. It's bigger than the wastebasket, right? So you get 3 phone calls. You get the enraged, how dare you bring this damn thing into my office and disrupt my whole business call. You get the brilliant, this is great fun, I really like it, thanks a lot, but I don't want an appointment, and you get appointments. Fill his quota, we do I think, last time I talked to him, he does 25 a month, he gets his 5 meetings, he gets his clients, he's a happy camper, okay? So it's a gimmick. It's a gimmick, that's all it is. So you can cheat with a gimmick, okay? All right, we will stop there for lunch. It is officially 12:09.